Hey everyone, Sam from United People's TV, here with Jim from PalaceFanTV, and we're here to chat about the upcoming game at the weekend. Cheers for coming in, Jim. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. I feel great.
After a loss?
After a loss, yes, I still feel positive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did your game go at the weekend?
We didn't play very well. It was a bit of a game of two halves. Leicester came out as first half. We weren't so good. We got back into it second half, conceded and lost.
Was it a case of Leicester beat you, or you just kind of, you weren't good enough on the
Our
day?
main problem at the moment is we have no strikers. We have no decent strikers.
Yeah.
At the moment, our only fit strikers are Patrick Bamford, Fraser Campbell and Dwight Gaal. Gaal wasn't playing at the weekend, so he was suspended for a red card against West Ham.
Yeah.
And in fact, the whole front four, we sort of play one up top, three behind,
Yeah.
just are not connecting at the moment.
Because that's your danger points, isn't it?
Exactly.
Balassi and Zaha.
Exactly, and Zaha didn't start, came off the bench.
Why didn't he start?
Pardew was sort of playing this sort of almost teacher role, sort of punishing him when he's not playing particularly brilliantly to try and bring out the best of him, and then bring him on in later in games.
Did it work?
Sort of, yeah. He played okay when he came on. Was our main threat. Had a penalty appeal turned down, which was definitely a penalty.
Yeah.
But for some reason, last season when we played well, it was that those wingers, the guy in the middle, Puncham was playing 10. And then whoever was up front, Murray for a point. Those four were really connecting. At the moment, for whatever reason, it's just not happening.
I think that sort of plays into United's hands because ours is exactly the same. Our attack right now is just, that's our weak point, but our defence is... At the start of the season, if you had asked United fans where they thought the strength would be this year, it definitely wouldn't have been defence because we didn't get the centre-back everyone thought we were going to. Then Luke Shaw out for the season. I mean, those 2 points in themselves are scratching our heads going, is it going to be the same again this year in defence? But Chris Smalling's turned into some sort of defensive terminator. I don't know who he is. I think he's Mike Smalling. Louis van Gaal accidentally called him Mike.
Did he?
In a pre-season conference.
Maybe that's why. And now Smalling thinks he's someone else.
Exactly.
He's a new man.
If he's schizophrenic and this is the other side of it, this is the one I want to see. Cheers, Mike. Sorry, Chris. But he's turned into a leader. We lost Ferdinand, Vidic and Evra in the same season, or within a space of time, and we never replaced those leaders. And Smalling right now is really taking it upon himself. The thing I really like about Smalling right now is his power in the air. Like if a ball goes up into the air, he just launches himself into it and he wins the header.
To be fair, for any team going for a title, a team like Palace, who ultimately are trying to avoid relegation but also push on top 10, you need a strong defence. Like it's really important for us. It's important for you. Obviously, you told me before, you've conceded one goal at home all season.
Yeah,
which was the Benteke bicycle.
That's just unreal, isn't it?
Which is fantastic, but that is the sort of defence that the title challenges are built on. And for us, in the last couple of seasons, we've started off very poorly. Last two seasons, sacked our manager, turned it around, and each time we've turned it around, it's been built on a solid defence.
But you started this season quite well.
Well, and this is the first season in the Premier League that we started. Yeah, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So knowing Palace, they'll probably get to Christmas, Pardew will go, and then it'll fall apart, and it'll be a reverse of last season. It's really odd for us to have a good start. We're not used to it, but it's fantastic, And again, most Palace fans, we want to finish top 10 again. We want to push on 9th or whatever. Some people are talking about Europe. I think that's pushing it a little bit, but ultimately, for any team outside the top 4 or top 6, you have to avoid relegation. So we're still 15 points now. We're still counting down. Right, that's 25 to go.
You're going for
until
the magic mark.
Of course, yeah. And if you get that early, great. If you get that after Christmas or whatever, then you can really start building. But for a team like Palace, you still have to just be looking over your shoulder.
What do you think about going ahead of the game at the weekend then? Are you going into it confident? Are you going into it pessimistic?
Sam, I never go into Palace games confident.
Even after your start, because you did have a very good start. I mean, Cabaye was looking hot. Zaha and Balassi again.
Cabaye is fantastic. Cabaye is our best player, and I can't tell you how good the guy is. Like we had Lombardo down a couple of years ago, right? He was our big signing, and everyone talks about him. And Cabaye is the next big marquee signing since him. And he's
something I found quite surprising is obviously Cabaye went to PSG. We all know what was going to happen to him there. He didn't play, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But he followed Pardew to Palace, which I think says something about Pardew's effect on players, which I didn't really think he had. So I think he's a bit of a greaseball. I don't know what Pardew gets up to in his free time, but I guarantee you it is not politically correct.
He's not. You make it sound like he's in Greece, like he's slip back, driving Grease Lightning. Clearly, he gets players to play for him, and he did that at Palace end of last season. It was the same sort of squad really that was under Warnock, and you could see under Warnock they didn't believe in him. They weren't playing for him. Pardew comes in, just gets them on side. and they really believe in him. And obviously that is what brought Cabaye to the club. And Cabaye's just he's almost sort of elevated everyone else in the team to the next level. Like James MacArthur, very good all-round midfielder. He's now playing at a much higher level than we saw last season.
Yeah.
Jason Punchin's having a bit of a struggle, but we know he's got ability. You talked about Zaha and Balassi. They are our potential match winners. Those are guys that, when they play well, could help us beat anyone.
Are they very much hot and cold players?
At the moment, very much so. Balassi seems to be going through a bit of a bad run. Not quite sure why. Zaha is being taken off in some games and brought on and playing well, and then not playing well. Punchin at the moment. Punchin has this weird thing where last 2 seasons he started off very badly in the first few months, and he got to January and he's like, oh no wait, I am a good player, and then he's been fantastic.
Well, he must have a good Christmas every year then.
He might, maybe just a very fun Christmas. This season he started off and on, not too bad, but again now it seems to be bad timing that the front four or whoever plays up top are all going through this bad patch at the same time, and it just leaves us very sort of toothless going forward.
Well, going into the game, who would you say is, as a fan, who are you looking at to be the game changer against United? Who do you say is going to have that match-winning moment?
So far this season, Cabaye has played in a deeper role for Palace, which is a role he did play at Newcastle, and he's very good. He had the highest interceptions at one point during the season. There's been a debate this week amongst Palace fans that we'd like to see him play a bit further forward because he's a very talented player. He can dictate play, he can open up defences. We want to see him play possibly in that number 10, especially as Punchin hasn't been playing particularly well. So if Cabaye does play I don't think he will, but he's still someone that could run the game for us from midfield. I know United's midfield is very, very strong, obviously, but
probably the strongest part of our team now.
It's fantastic, but I think Cabaye is someone that could certainly match some of your players in there if he has a good game. But if you're talking about real game changers, if Zaha starts, obviously ex-Man United player, he's got a point to prove, I think. He really could be good for us. Balassi needs to turn it around. But, if those guys do suddenly have a game where they're back on form, and with 2 flying wingers, there's a lot of potential.
It's the nature of being a winger like that. I mean, we saw it with Nani for years. If he was hot, he was hot. Yeah. If he wasn't, he was crap.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's the nature of those players who try and make things happen. If they get a cross in and it goes nowhere, it leads to nothing.
Unfortunately, the way we play, that formation, which is 1 up top and the 3 across there and then 2 in defensive midfield, your wingers have to have good games. If they don't, the whole system kind of comes crumbling down a little bit. It's
kind of a similar system to how United are playing at the moment. So there could be maybe a clash where we're both playing, because we're playing 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
We're playing 2 holding mids at the moment and 3 out there. And it kind of switches it between having a number 10 and not having a number 10. So I don't know who he's going to play against you. Obviously, Rooney's completely out of form. I think United fans personally would just like to see him just put on the bench. He's a captain.
Really?
He's not undroppable, man. And it's something we've been saying a long time. It's not that we're throwing him under the bus, but every player, no matter who you are, deserves to be dropped if they're playing crap. And Rooney gave the ball away against Man City 28 times.
Really?
5 times more than any other player on the pitch.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a captain in a local derby as big as that, 28 times. His pass completion was 41% in the opponent's half. 6 out of 10 passes went to a City player.
To be fair, though, if that was Cabaye at Palace, he'd still play.
Yeah, but that's because I suppose you don't have as many. I don't even know how to those sort of players that come in and really change the scope of the team. No. You could take Rooney out and put Herrera in there. Yeah. Personally, I think it would have more.
I like Herrera. I think Herrera's brilliant.
I love Herrera. But I think my prediction for the game of the weekend, we've won the last 4 games against you, I think. But every game's been very tight, and I do expect it to be tight. Our fans are going to come down in Cantona masks. There's always going to be a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
That will never leave Selhurst
Not a fan
Park.
of the Cantona stuff, but...
he is our icon, so whether we agree or not with the Kung Fu kick, that's never going to be forgotten.
Yeah.
We could probably do another separate video.
We could easily do another video on the whole Cantona thing, but let's not for today.
That's going to get into a whole different conversation. But I think the game's going to go very similar. I think it's going to be a very tight game. Mm-hmm. But I do think, so long as we play Martial up front, I think that's the clincher for me. If he plays on the wing again, we'd be pissed off. He could probably be able to get more against your fullbacks than he got against Sanya and company, because he was getting doubled up on in the derby. But as I said, I think it'll be a 1-goal game either way. And United's defence right now, I could probably see it being a 1-0.
Well, as I said before, Palace's strike force is very blunt. Our defence, it depends who plays in our defence, because we've had Joel Ward injured for a few weeks, who's our first choice right back, and Pape Souare, who's our Senegalese left back, who's been really, really good this season, was out at the weekend. If they're both back, which they might be, and possibly Damien Delaney as well, because we had Hangeland in for a few weeks. He's been brilliant and then gave the goal away on Saturday. If we get our first choice back 4 playing again, I'll certainly be more confident. The players that have come in since have done all right. Mariappa, Kelly, they've done okay. But I think we get our back four that we know is our first choice. I could see us sneaking a 0-0, maybe. Yeah. It's going to be very tight. We're really not going to pose you many threats going forward, to be honest.
Set pieces.
But set pieces, start of the season, we had the most goals from set pieces in week 3 or 4 or something. In the last few weeks, we've not looked a threat.
It all depends on delivery.
Totally. But I think we can definitely be a threat from set pieces. But to be honest, I'm already going to the game looking for a 0-0, which I think speaks volumes about how
I like this. This is a good attitude for us to have.
But having said that, Palace can pull results out of the bag. We're the sort of team, we are a good team, they're confident, and if it all goes well and clicks, we could easily sneak.
As I said, I think you winning that game depends on your quality from deliveries on set pieces, because it doesn't matter how good a team is. You saw with Barcelona in their pomp, set pieces can be the downfall of you. So let us know what you think how the game's going to go in the comments below. Do you think Palace can sneak a win out of this? Because they might be. As I said, I think it very much depends on how you are from set pieces. That's going to be your strength, I think, on the weekend. Just let us know what you think the result can be. Thanks for chatting, Jim.
Cheers.
And bad luck at the weekend.
We'll see.
For United People's TV, Manchester United have just drawn 0-0 at home in the Premier League to Manchester City. Not much to say about the game, really. It was frustrating.